Ahead on KCCI News Close-Up, a financial bust. Conventions and venues take a huge hit during the pandemic. We speak to experts on what's still ahead in 2021.
This is Iowa's news leader. This is KCCI 8 News Close-Up.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to KCCI Close-Up. The coronavirus pandemic has had a huge financial toll on many Iowa businesses, especially for the travel and convention industry. The last big event here in Des Moines was the boys and girls basketball tournament back in March. KCCI's Cynthia Fodor spoke to the Des Moines Convention and Visitors Bureau about what this means for the future.
Well, Greg, it's great to see you. It's been a tough year for everybody, and we're trying to end up the year on a more positive note and look for fun things to do for families and the highlights of what's coming up next year. But just to recap this year, for Catch Des Moines and the Convention Bureau, you had to postpone a lot of events. What was it like for you this year?
Yeah, it's been a real down year for us, Cynthia, and most people know that the travel industry was affected probably the worst of any industry out there, whether it be air travel, visitors, conventions, meetings, sporting events, on and on and on. Since March, really after the girls basketball tournament and the boys basketball tournament, those were some of the real big things that we were able to host this past year. And you think about the devastation that goes through the entire industry, not just us, not just convention bureaus and event centers and hotels and restaurants, but it comes down to jobs too. In Polk County alone, Polk and Dallas County, over 20,000 people are employed in this industry. Still at least half of them are without jobs. Hotel occupancies are still very, very low. You see the stories about the restaurant business on a daily basis. It's just affected so many, and it's just been a really sad down year for us. And we're just so optimistic that 2021 brings a little sunshine back into our lives and gets things back to normal once this vaccine gets covered throughout the country, and we can start traveling, enjoying family, enjoying sporting events and conventions and all those great things.
And we often interview and talk to you about the economic impact these events have, as you were saying, on restaurants and hotels and shopping, and it goes on and on. And I mean, all of that trickle down from losing a convention.
We've since really the end of February, we've had over 300 events cancel. And those, again, are conventions and meetings and sporting events and what have you. And those are just the ones that we track. Those are the ones that we had input with from the very beginning. Doesn't take into consideration a lot of the stuff that the hotels had or the state fairgrounds had or the Iowa Event Center, things like that. Economic impact, well over $300 million in economy loss to our area this past year.
So have you still been hearing from groups or events that want to plan for next year, or are we now putting things off yet another year?
Yeah, we've stayed in constant contact with all of our clients and even future potential clients. A lot of them are still hanging in there towards the latter half of 2021. A lot of the stuff has still canceled early 2021. But a lot of the groups are fairly optimistic like we are and hanging in there. So we're hoping that, by June, anyway, we can get back to some type of normalcy. June is a huge month in the travel industry for our metro. You've got the Principal Charity Classic at the beginning of the month. You've got World Pork Expo, huge event. This coming June, we've got Ironman, the first Ironman ever to be held in Des Moines. We've got National Junior High School Rodeo Championships. So a lot of really big stuff coming in June. So fingers are crossed, and we're praying for the best.
And those are all exciting. Greg, what other events or highlights do you have planned for next year?
Yeah, actually, we do. We have the Lions Club's International Convention here next fall, which is a huge event. It's Canada and the U.S. together. We've been working on this thing for years, so they're finally going to come to Des Moines. Thousands of people will be in for that, and some other really large groups as well towards the end of the year. So if we can get this thing under control, the last half of 21, hopefully will bring us back to somewhere near normal anyway.
Still ahead, we talk about some fun things you can still do for the holidays. Welcome back. Christmas may be over, but there's still plenty of holiday spirit in the Metro. Cynthia's back with some fun ideas to get out with the family.
And let's talk about this upcoming week, Greg, because I know, families have had the kids at home, a lot of them all year round, but they don't have to sit in front of their computer all day this week. And there are a lot of things going on. Catch Des Moines puts them all under one barrel for families to find easily. And what are some of the things that people can do this week?
Yeah, you can kick it off actually today and on January 3rd. The Buccaneers are in town. The Des Moines Buccaneers, of course, have relocated to Wells Fargo Arena, which is kind of a cool thing. They have everything in place, all social distancing seats. You have to wear masks while you're in the building and all those good kinds of things. So pretty safe environment at Wells Fargo. So they're here both today and on January 3rd, and tickets just start at $11. New Year's Eve, everybody's looking for stuff to do New Year's Eve, and probably mom and dad are not going to be out on the streets and things. If they're not, they can tune in to the Des Moines Symphony, which is a virtual New Year's Eve celebration. That happens on, of course, Thursday of New Year's Eve. And it's a great family event as well.
Well, I was thinking of that because, a lot of times parents will like, oh, I don't want to drag the kids to the symphony unless they're really into music. But this is an opportunity to really, allow your children to experience something new and different, which might actually excite them.
It could very well excite them. And who knows, maybe little Tommy will want to get a tuba next year for Christmas or something,
Good alliteration there. And another thing this year, I just drove by last night out by Living History Farms and saw a long line of cars and thought, what's going on? And I remembered there's a holiday light show out there.
There is. It's a great one. It's called Santa's Rockin' Lights Drive-Through Light Show, and that's at Living History Farms. That'll be up and running through January the 3rd. And if you haven't been out there, great light show to check out. It's $30 per carload to get through that. But I understand, in fact, I just spoke to somebody this morning that said they'd taken their kids out and really enjoyed that. And don't forget to also support the Make-A-Wish Foundation out at Jolly Holiday Lights out in Adventureland in Altoona. So that also continues to roll until January 3rd, and that is $20 a car.
And those are both for good causes as well. And then, you know, I think people tend to forget, unless you have guests in town or out of towners, all the different venues that we have that are open now, like the Art Center and Botanical Center and places like that.
That's exactly right. And another New Year's Eve idea is New Year's Eve 2020 countdown to extension at the Science Center of Iowa. And that's on New Year's Eve day, actually, from 11 a.m. or there'll be, two shows, one at 11, one at 3 p.m. And you'll want to reserve your tickets ahead of time for that. But, you know, there's all kinds of stuff you can do with family over the holidays. I know our family loves to go bowling over the holidays. So a lot of bowling. Yeah, no, heck yes. A lot of bowling alleys are open, and especially Warrior Lanes out in Waukee. And they're doing all kinds of special things out there. You want to check that out. You can go out to Climb Iowa in Grimes. Another great fun thing to do with the kids. The kids love to climb the rock walls and things like that. And they've got staff available to keep an eye on things and give you all the right equipment and all that. You can head out to Polk County Conservation. I invite you to take the Chill Out Challenge. This is an online challenge that you can do at your own house, but feel like you're in the outdoors. You can check that out. You can check all these things out again at our website, catchdesmoines.com.
Good stuff. Coming up, it's been 10 years since Iowa started the Healthiest State Initiative. We'll take a look at the strides Iowans have made.
Every weeknight, we show you the important
Welcome back. Iowa's Healthiest State Initiative is celebrating its 10th anniversary. It all started with the goal of becoming the healthiest state in the nation. KCCI's Cynthia Fodor talks to the program's executive director about how Iowans have stepped up.
I remember back when it started, and there was a lot of emphasis on it. talk again about what your goal was starting out.
Yeah, so, in 2011, it really was looking at how do we make Iowa become the healthiest state in the nation, and really by looking at our physical, social, and emotional well-being. So 10 years have passed quickly, but it's also exciting to see some of the great progress that we've made and some of the opportunities that we have for the future as well.
And what has the progress been that you've made? I mean, this year during a pandemic, to talk about a healthy state had to be a challenge.
Yeah, definitely. I think, though, the pandemic has reminded us how important our health really is when you look at, those that are being directly impacted by the coronavirus, those that have comorbidities, have chronic health conditions. And so just that reminder that we really do need to take care of not only our physical health, but also our mental health. And so I think it's just been that reminder of there are things that we can each be doing every day. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we can be taking some of those steps to improve our health each and every day. And I think it's also important that, there isn't a finish line when it comes to, yes, becoming the healthiest state in the nation is kind of that goal at the end, but, good health is something that's ongoing for the rest of our entire life. And so we need to continue to be working towards improving our health every single day.
And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to talk to you, because we're moving into the new year, and that's usually one of the first resolutions people have. They want to lose weight, they want to exercise more, they want to eat better. And you're right, through this pandemic, I know I've loaded up on zinc and vitamins. Where do we begin going into the new year, especially at a time like this?
I think we always remind people, what are those healthy habits that we can continue to build upon each and every year? And so, the hard part with New Year's resolutions, a lot of times people put these very lofty goals, and then you're so disappointed because maybe you mess up one day and you don't exactly do what you had planned, and so then it steps people back. I think always building on healthy habits is really important. So we talk a lot about, the 5-2-1-0, healthy choices count, and all of us could be working towards that. So it's 5 or more fruits and vegetables. How do you add more fruits or vegetables to get those natural vitamins and minerals in your diet? How do you really try to reduce your recreational screen time? So yes, we are all, learning and working behind a screen, but when you're stepping away and not having to be in school or having to actually work, are there other ways that you can be active besides just sitting on the couch watching television or picking up your iPad again and being behind that screen? And then that really ties into physical activity, moving our body in some way, shape, or form every single day. So can you get 1 hour of physical activity? And it doesn't have to happen at the same time. You can spread that out throughout the day. And then really focusing on drinking more water is really important. And I think if all of us looked at how can we improve in any of those areas, or how can we start to work on one of those areas, that's only going to improve your overall health. And it also supports your mental health as well. And I think those are some really key opportunities that all Iowans should look at as we move into this new year.
And the 5-2-1-0, you also ask parents or children to memorize that so we can start teaching our children these habits.
Yeah, because think about it, we learn that as a kid, right? So if you're a kindergartner, for example, and you learn about 5-2-1-0 as a child, you can take those habits into your adulthood. So I often think about brushing your teeth. That's kind of just a natural habit. So many of us do. Hopefully all of us are doing it every day, and it's just become something part of your routine. And that's really the idea with 5-2-1-0. How can we make it be part of our routine? And those are just healthy choices that we're making every single day and not even really having to think about them in the future. And so how do we just build upon those healthy habits over time? And hopefully in the future, if our kids can take those throughout their 18 years of life and into adulthood, we'll start to see a reduction in chronic health conditions and obesity with that population once they reach adulthood as well.
And just remind us again what they are. 5 fruits and vegetables.
5 or more fruits and vegetables, 2 hours or less of recreational screen time, 1 hour of physical activity, and 0 sugary drinks. Drink more water.
Oh, okay. Got it. So tell us what kind of progress have we made over the last 10 years? I know there are, you look at a number of different indicators like obesity and tobacco use and things like that.
Yeah, so we've really made a lot of progress, I think, in improving access and opportunities for healthy food. So Double Up Food Bucks is a program that the Healthiest State oversees, And just since 2016, we've seen significant growth and opportunity for individuals that are low income to have access to more fresh fruits and vegetables. So again, how do we all increase our access to fresh fruits and vegetables and consumption? And so that program, we've seen over a 500% increase just in the last year. And really the pandemic, I think, has increased the opportunity for people to have hopefully more access through Double Up Food Bucks as well. And we're reaching over 25% of SNAP participants through that. So I think access, how do we really help people access those fresh fruits and vegetables? Make It Okay is another program we launched in 2019, and that's really meant to reduce the stigma that exists around mental health. And so when you think about 2020, all of us have been impacted by this pandemic, and all of our mental health have been probably strained to some way, shape, or form. And so how do we start to talk about our mental health like we do our physical health? And we've had a lot of growth in that program this last year and are really starting to make some strides for Iowans to seek the help that they need to really support their overall health and wellness. And so that's really exciting. And obviously the work we're trying to do with 5210 in our schools and our early cares, those will take time and years to come to see really kind of the fruition of all that work that we've done in the future.
Straight ahead, a dark winter is approaching as the sun sets sooner and more people isolate inside. We get some tips to help your mental health.
At Honda, we take the holidays.
Every winter, millions of Americans struggle with seasonal affective disorder, also known as SAD. But this year, in the midst of a global pandemic, mental health advocates worry seasonal depression could take a harsher toll. Cynthia's back to talk through some of the ways to deal with the disorder during the pandemic.
We're going into the dark winter, they're calling it, with the pandemic, and we're not going to be able to get outside as often. Where a lot of people are isolated, and a lot of people suffer from seasonal affective disorder as well, not having enough light. How do we keep our positivity and our and mentally healthy as well?
Yeah, I think that's really important. Iowans tend to, I always say, hibernate. But if you look at some of our partners to the north of us, when you look at Minnesota, they often don't hibernate. So what can we learn from them? I think part of it is getting outside is really about making sure you have the right gear to do it, right? So it's about bundling up, having those, that really can't prevent us. We aren't the Antarctica by any means, and there's other regions in the world that get outside and are much more active. So thinking about, what clothing you can put on to get outside. Just getting some sunshine, natural sunlight, walking out your front door and just letting the sun sit on you for 5 minutes is going to make a big difference. I also just going back to those 5210 again. How do you continue to have access to healthy fruits and vegetables? Making sure that you're incorporating that still into your diet. I know that it's a lot harder in the winter because you want more of that comfort, heavier food. That just naturally happens for a lot of Iowans, but think about how you can incorporate fruits and vegetables to get those natural minerals and vitamins is also really important. And then find ways to connect with others. So Zoom and, these kind of visual audio ways that are new, they're not the same by any means, but they can make a huge difference. Making sure that you are checking in with your grandparents and your parents and your friends, and especially those that maybe live alone, and just making sure that they're doing okay. And having some type of social connection in the next 3 to 4 months as we go through winter is going to be really critical for all of us. And then just that movement again. Can you get outside and take 10 minutes? Gives you that natural sunlight, but also gets those natural endorphins going because you're moving your body, and doing that a couple of times a day, or finding ways to move within your home as well will be really important, and easy ways that we can incorporate.
Yeah, I find if I force myself to bundle up and just say, walk up and down the street once, that I'll end up doing it 3 times.
Yeah, or just even having accountability. I think that's always great. So even during the month of December, I've had a group of friends that we text each other at the end of each week to say, how did you get out and move every day this week? And it's okay if something happens and you can't get up and move, or you didn't have the activity that you had hoped for. I think having that accountability, just holding each other like, hey, come on, Cynthia, you can do it. Just get out and get that 10-minute walk in. Just helps all of us as those reminders, just like the iWatch or other tracking devices do as well.
And I was looking through your website, and you have a lot of interesting tips on there, and there were scores or in different categories, and one of them where the state was worsening was in terms of well-being. What does that mean?
Well-being is really important when we're looking at our holistic health. So I think a lot of people always think of health as just that physical component. But again, as part of our mission statement is it's physical, social, and emotional, because think about all of the other aspects of your health and wellness that extend beyond that physical. And so really that well-being is looking at all components. So how is mental health being measured? What does the physical aspect look like around fruits and vegetables, or physical activity, or smoking habits? So we try to really take a holistic approach, but also knowing that health is very complex as well. And so how do we make sure that the trend lines are headed in the right direction, and then start to identify what are the opportunities to potentially move those if we're not headed in the right direction year after year.
What's your best advice for all of us going into the new year in a pandemic to make this happen, to work on becoming the healthiest state?
Well, I think for all of us, it's identifying one small goal. And so being realistic about what that goal is, and you can build upon that over the next 12 months, I think is really important, because each of us are in a different spot. And Cynthia, you hit it on the nail. I always say Iowa's not going to become the healthiest state in the nation. It's not going to be Jamie that's making it become the healthiest state in the nation. It's all 3 million Iowans doing their part to improve their overall individual health and starting to move us in the right direction.
Thanks for watching Close Up. See you in 2021.